What is going on, everybody? The 49ers just got a scary good update. What does scary good and update all mean put together? I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you would so kindly do so. It does really help me out. Appreciate it. If you've already done it, cool, thanks. If you don't want to do it, that's cool. I respect that too. Let's get straight into it, though. I've got a question for you guys because I'm really curious who our X factor is. Every week and every matchup kind of looks a little bit different with a lot of the same answers being potentially right. But for me, if I had to pick one X factor for this game, and I'm going to say let's make that X factor a player. Let's just say it has to be a player. It can't be Kyle Shanahan. It can't be Robert Saleh. Got to be a player. Like, who's that X factor for you this upcoming weekend? I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey. This is a tough defense. This is a defense that we're going to need to grind out some yards on the ground if we want to open up space and opportunities through the air. So for me, I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey. Other acceptable answers, though, could be Michael Williams. We talked about him yesterday. He's a guy that I think could be getting after the quarterback, maybe gets another sack. It's all going to feel like, for him, it's going to feel like it's on his shoulders a little bit. But then you got Kalia Davis, Sam Okuano. You got other guys on that line who are definitely looking to make an impression and take advantage of an opportunity. So there could be someone on the defensive line you could go after. You could also go after George Kittle. George Kittle's a guy that I feel massively impacts the game tomorrow. Like, this is a big game. So I feel like George Kittle is another guy you could go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate it, as always. There are, of course, some wrong answers out there, but I'm sure none of you are going to say any of the wrong answers because there are lots of right answers too. DeMeco Ryans. DeMeco Ryans went out of his way to pay some serious respect for Christian McCaffrey. And before I break down why I think this is a scary good update for the 49ers, I want you to hear what DeMeco Ryans had to say about the 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey. Give us a listen.
Christian McCaffrey is by far one of the best players in the NFL.
He can't even get through the sentence without laughing. Listen to him. One of the best players in the NFL. Anyway, sorry.
What he's done in the game, I think, and I know for sure he has the respect of every player that's played against him, and also just respect from the offensive players. He's a tremendous athlete. I mean, he's physically gifted, a talented player in all respects. Not just running the football, but also as a receiving running back, he's one of the best that we've seen. So
let's just pause there for a second. He's going to talk about like what the Texans need to do to stop him. I think is all that's really interesting. He even says he ends it with some really interesting stuff there. But let's just like pause on the fact that DeMeco Ryans asked a question about Christian McCaffrey, said more about Christian McCaffrey in 30 seconds than we've probably heard Kyle Shanahan say about Christian McCaffrey this season. I mean, he really elaborated on why he feels so strongly about how good Christian McCaffrey is. And he used the word best a lot. If you heard that word best, and that's associated with you in the form of like your athletic ability, your ability to impact a game, that's something worth paying attention to. Now, I want to note, I'm not throwing shots. I'm not throwing shade at Kyle Shanahan for DeMeco Ryans going on and on and on about him. Shanahan does the same thing. It's very common for coaches to spend a lot of time talking about other players on other teams because they're not yours. You don't have to coach them. You can say whatever you want about those players. It doesn't really affect you. When you're thinking about your players, you're really careful. But I think from a coach as a coach myself, I understand why you might be a little more cautious about how you say things about your own players. So I think you're just able to be a little bit more honest and just like straight up, no limits, no like boundaries. Just say what you got to say about these players. They're good players, and we're going to play against them. Anyway, let's let DeMeco Ryans continue because what he says is just awesome.
And that'll be their main focus, and that's their main game plan, rightfully so, because he's such a dynamic player, and he changes the game for them offensively. And not just what he does, but where he's able to align. And Kyle has done a really nice job of moving him around in a lot of different spots where he's not just aligning in the running back position. He can line up at receiver. He can line up all over the place. So the game plan is we have to have eyes for Christian McCaffrey, knowing that he's going to get the bulk of the touches because he's their top playmaker.
So quick like aside there. Basically, he's assuming that nothing is going to change with how the 49ers run their offense. And you understand why. when you don't have a Deebo Samuel, in a person like Deebo Samuel in that position, the offense kind of runs through one guy. It's kind of clear. That being said, I do think, and I don't know, I don't ever know like what DeMeco would say out in public and what things he would kind of keep privately because he doesn't want to give away too much about what he thinks about the offense or whatever. But like George Kittle got one target and it was a bad pass and he dropped it. I'm not about to start thinking against one of the best secondaries in the NFL that they're not going to get George Kittle the ball. Like they're going to get George Kittle the ball this weekend. No doubt about it. They're going to get their tight ends involved because when you've got a secondary as good as the Houston Texans secondary is, you have to find ways to get the ball into different positions, and tight ends are unlock that a lot of times because you can get them in a nice matchup where just by sheer size difference, a guy like George Kittle is going to be a favorable target. So I'm not trying to say I think you get what I'm trying to say. Let's let DeMeco Ryans say the last thing that he's going to say because it's really good stuff.
Do you think having him has helped Mac Jones be successful despite Purdy's injury?
For sure. Anytime you have Christian McCaffrey, he helps any quarterback, right? Because he's a friendly target in the passing game. He has really great hands, catches the ball well, and he's also a really dynamic runner. He runs the ball tremendously hard. He understands the scheme. He understands how to press blocks. He knows how to set it up. He knows when to cut back. Just all around, really one of the smartest players I've been around, and that's one of the most reliable guys as well.
One of the smartest players I've been around, one of the most reliable guys as well. That's what DeMeco Ryans, that's part of what DeMeco Ryans had to say about Christian McCaffrey. He went on and on and on about him. He was asked 2 questions. He spoke for 2 whole minutes on Christian McCaffrey. Unbelievable. And I understand, like, I don't want to make too much out of this. I get it. Some people might be like, okay, relax, man. It's not that big of a deal. Coaches talk about players from other teams all the time. But I'm just telling you, we're getting insight into how DeMeco Ryans, as a defensive guy, is thinking about Christian McCaffrey, about thinking about what he does and what he must be talking to his team about in terms of how to prepare for Christian McCaffrey, which I think is really fascinating just in and of itself. And the reason I call this scary good news is because the Houston Texans clearly have they're a little bit scared about what Christian McCaffrey can do. I don't mean that in the sense that they're like afraid to play against Christian McCaffrey, but I mean that in the term of reverence. They respect this player, Christian McCaffrey. They respect what he's capable of in this offense. They respect his multiplicity of abilities. They respect that Christian McCaffrey can make something out of nothing. They respect that Christian McCaffrey is more than just a position player. He's so many position players all in one. So I think that for me tells me that DeMeco Ryans has put a great deal of energy into thinking about what in the world are we going to do to stop Christian McCaffrey, and having a great deal of respect for the many different attributes that Christian McCaffrey brings to the 49ers offense. I think by itself, that is something worth celebrating. And he's not wrong to be worried. He has good reason to be worried. Now, he didn't say he's worried, but his actions would show that he's clearly spending a lot of time thinking about it. I don't know if it's keeping him up at night, but maybe it should, because the Texans boast the league's top-ranked defense and special teams so far this season, but they've shown vulnerability against the run in a very similar position to who we faced last week, Atlanta Falcons. C.J. Stroud hasn't matched his rookie year form as well, and Houston's offense ranks just 24th in overall efficiency. So here's what I'm talking about. This is from SF Data Niners. As always, got to give him a massive shout-out. He's one of my favorite follows on X. So when you look at that first circle at the very, very top there, that's Houston's defense against the rush. So obviously, if you're a 49ers fan, if you are Kyle Shanahan, if you are a member of the 49ers organization, we're all looking at this thinking the same thing. All right, there's a weakness we can exploit against the best defense in the league potentially. A lot of people are calling him the best defense in the league. I don't want to act like that. I'm just saying in general, right? So they're number 18th right now in EPA against the rush, or EPA allowed in the rush game for their defense. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, so for our defense coming after them, their numbers look way more favorable for us. So I do believe he has reason to be worried on both offense and defense. His worry about our offense is our offense, although they may have the best secondary in the league. They may be the best in coverage in the league. However, the one weakness that they have on defense right now happens to be a very special offensive skill set that Kyle Shanahan can scheme up. And that's not just the run, but it's plays like the run, like tosses and sweeps and all sorts of stuff, right? We haven't really seen a lot of sweeps this year, to be fair. Offensively, the 49ers defensively, the 49ers obviously have an offense they can get after as well, who they're ranking 24th overall in all plays in EPA, and then 21st in the passing game and 27th in the rushing game, which I think is something that's interesting. And as I'm continuing that narrative, we talked about Mykel Williams and this defensive line and what they might be able to do yesterday. Though the 49ers will be without a plus pass rusher in this game, the Texans are one of the worst offensive lines in football. 30th pass block win rate and 30th run block win rate per David Lombardi. The left side has been particularly problematic, and both of those guys rank in the bottom 10 in pass pro metrics. Diameter of the Nor on the impact of Robert Saleh's defensive game plan as we're getting ahead, getting ready for this game against DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans. It's more than a game plan. He doesn't just game plan, he dissects. Like in biology class, you've got the frog, you've got to open him up and see where his heart is at. With Saleh, we're going straight for the heart. My word. If that doesn't make you amped for the game tomorrow, I don't know what will. George Kittle on Robert Saleh. Saleh is the best signing we've ever had. I've been saying that since OTAs. It's not just how smart he is, it's his juice. He's inspirational. He's great in meetings. His energy is infectious every single day, and he gets our young guys ready per Mike Silver and Coach Yak. So, yeah, I'm pretty hyped about the game. If you can't tell, I'm feeling really optimistic about how the 49ers are going to do this, but not optimistic in the sense that I think this is a guaranteed win or a blowout or any of that kind of stuff. I just feel optimistic about who this team is and what they've managed to do so far this season, how they've managed to overcome hurdles so far this season, and what I think they're going to be able to do in exploiting a couple really obvious weaknesses. You don't always get to go against a team that has super clear weaknesses. Really nice that this team does have some clear weaknesses. And if the 49ers can't exploit them, if the Houston Texans can't stop the 49ers from exploiting them, then the 49ers have a very, very good shot to win this football game. It has to happen on the field, of course, which is going to happen tomorrow, and I can't wait to watch it and talk to you about it every single day beyond. Appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Saturday afternoon.